What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Kicks and Stuff, the podcast. I am your host, Fiza. Okay, so I'm here with my brother On, which you guys see a lot on the channel. But this is the serious question. Are you my co-host, or do you want to be my co-host, or would you rather be considered as my guest?
Hello, everybody. My name is On. As you guys know, I've been on a lot of the videos. I started off as the editor and the camera
Cameraman.
guy, the cameraman, because I was the one who told Faza to make the channel. Um, but when Faza decided to make the podcast, I was like, go for it. But I don't really do podcasts. As a person with ADHD, I just don't like, I have to have visuals. Even with visuals, I just don't like to see people sitting and talking. Like, even with interviews, I'm just not a person for
Really?
podcasts.
With interviews, it's really easy because I could be doing IXL, which, if you know what that is, I feel bad for you. I feel your pain. But I'd be doing IXL or something, and I would have a podcast on with Apple Podcasts, or a podcast on YouTube, or even interviews in general, and I just be listening because I don't have to put my eye attention on that. I can have my eye attention on something else, and it's really it's like multitasking, but you're getting your work done that you need to do, but you're also getting your entertainment time. So that's what I think of it. Anyway, how's been your day? How's your day been? How's been your day?
It's been stressful. So
Why is that?
Today, as you guys, if you guys don't know, I'm in college, and
I'm pretty sure everyone knows that.
Since I go to a college that is different, I go to DePaul University, and so they have different from regular colleges. They don't have 2 semesters per year. They have 3 quarters per year, and so right now I am in the middle of my second quarter. And so usually for normal universities, there's only 1 week with midterms and 1 week for finals. But for my university, our midterm week is 2 weeks long, since our quarters are 10 weeks each. And so this was the second week of my midterm. And usually, since my first quarter is already done, I wasn't really hard because my classes didn't really have tests. They just had projects, and it wasn't really that hard. I could have done it very easily. But my computer science class this quarter, the professor is how do I say this nicely? He's strict, but he is really, I guess, he can't trust anybody, because he told us to, in the beginning of class, he was talking about how we should help each other, all the students, because, coding can be hard. And I agree, coding can be hard. Coding has made me cry. And I'm not even done with my first year. And so he told us we should work together on some projects. But when we asked if we could use a Discord server, he said he didn't trust us enough because we would cheat. So I was like, either you trust us enough to, talk to each other, or you just don't. There's no telling people work together, but don't cheat. It's kind of stupid. Anyway, this week was the midterm exam for his class. And he gave us 1.5 hours for 2 questions, which would normally take at least 3 hours, because it was so much code, it was so much logic that went into that 1.5 hours.
But you did good.
I did good. It's just that, first of all, we started at 1:30 p.m. My whole class is on this Discord server that we talked to, and basically what happened was at 1:30, the whole class logged into D2L, which is our school website, and
Zoom?
Right, basically not like Zoom. Like you guys have Classroom, Google Classroom. We have D2L.
Oh, I
So
see.
so
You guys don't use Blackboard?
we don't use Blackboard. Yeah, that's like
Honestly, when I see, if you guys have not heard last week's episode, which was about time management with my older sister Fizza, she's also a college student, and I've seen her use, because we use Google Classroom, which is honestly it sucks, because sometimes it doesn't submit the work at all, and like the teacher gives us zeros, and then I have to email, blah blah blah. Blackboard, you have so many different options. Plus, it has its own like Zoom meeting type thing. Honestly, it's like the best type of school network, in my opinion.
yeah. I don't know about Blackboard because many universities use that, but a lot of universities also use D2L. Like if like Kinzabaji is using D2L for her master's program.
That's by the way, that's my oldest sister who lives in California.
Yeah, so
She's getting her
master's degree
so.
by University of Maryland, I believe. So which is pretty cool.
I don't really know.
Yeah. So she uses D2L as well. So basically we went on there and the way his program was a bit different because on D2L you can do a quiz and you can click on that quiz and answer those quizzes. But what he did was my professor did was he put the questions in the quiz, and so you aren't really supposed to answer the questions. You're just supposed to look at the question, and then you're supposed to submit the answers as a homework file into D2L, which is kind of confusing. If you don't get it, I totally understand. I didn't even get it until the half of the thing.
When did your test start?
So my test started at 1:30 p.m.
And when did you end?
My I was supposed to end at 3 p.m. But
it's only like half an hour.
1.5 hours, yes.
I don't know why I said half an hour.
So,
I'm sorry.
So at 1:30 he said sharp there would be the quiz up on D2L. And since we have a Discord server, we can talk to each other.
He doesn't know about it?
He knows about the Discord server and he checks up on it. I guess he does checks up on it. I never really know, but we basically ask each other.
Is he like
help
one of those
on the
creepy
homework.
professors?
He's not creepy at all. He's actually really nice, and he's helped me before too.
But do you know what I mean by creepy?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, but he's really nice too. He's like, any question you ask, even if it's like the dumbest question alive, he'll be like, great question. Like people need to know that. So he's like actually super nice, and he actually like explains the prompts extremely well. So like it's just the only bad thing is that he's super strict and like can't trust anyone. But basically at 1:30 I log in and I'm like right away I check for the quiz. The submission part is there where I can submit my answers, but the quiz is not there. And so 2 minutes in, I start freaking out. I'm like, where is the quiz? I check my Discord and every single person in my class is like, has anybody found the prompt? Because I can't find it. And so everyone's freaking out. Where's the prompt? I email my professor and he emails us like 3 minutes later. He's like, oh, sorry, the prompt was a little late. So I'm extending the deadline to 3 or 5 p.m. And I was like, okay, that sounds cool. So, I started doing it. I'm done by I think 2:15 with my first problem. It wasn't too hard. And the thing is, we just started doing GUIs, which is GUIs. It's user interfaces. Basically, when you see websites that ask you questions like, "How was your day?" or "Can you tell me how many basically like you can put stuff into it. You can make buttons, text boxes, stuff like that. And so
interesting.
And so there was a question of that. So that takes a lot of time because it's a lot of not only logic.
And
it's
at this point, what do you have, like 40 minutes left? No, 40, like 50 minutes left.
45. Because I ended at because then 5 minutes or 50 minutes.
50 minutes left.
So then I set an alarm for 2:45, and I'm almost done with everything. And also the thing is that with Python programs or coding programs, you also have to test them just to make sure there aren't any errors or you haven't messed anything up, in which my case, I mean, I mess up all the time, right? Like the program would tell me, hey, what is RWO? And I'll be like, oh, I meant to write row, not RWO. Or simple spelling mistakes that makes the whole code just spin out of control. So at 2:58, I finish with the whole thing, and I freak out because I forget that at 3:05 it's due, not at 3 p.m. And then I test it, and by 3:02 I'm done. I submit it. I'm exhausted, and I check my email, and I see that my professor has emailed. And so I checked my email, and my professor has emailed everyone, including me, and said that the deadline was extended till 3:15 p.m. Was I mad? Yes, absolutely, because I didn't check my email before. I was so worried that I would lose time that I didn't check my email. But I relieved to just finish it? Yeah. And I did. My professor was like, I'll give you all your grades by midnight, and he gave me, and I got a low A, high B, like an 87 out of 100. And so I'm really happy that the points that he took off were little minor points, but most of it worked. Like my whole program worked, and so I got a
Which
pretty
is
high
good.
grade.
That's good.
Especially good because it's not that he doesn't trust anyone. It's just that he's really strict as well, and so I think that my midterm was 50% of my grade. Not only 50, I think it was like 40% of my grade, and somewhere around that, like 35, 40%, and then my final is my 50%, and it's like 15% of my grade is homework and labs, which is so sad because I spend most of my time on my labs and my homeworks. And so if I get one bad day because of my midterm or my final and I mess it up, that's basically I'm failing that class. So I'm a little stressed about it, but mostly thankful that today the test went great.
So, would you say that you had a stressful day, or would you consider it like a stressful but relieved day?
I would say stressful, but relieved because I also finished my math exam today.
That's good.
I love my math class. My professor is so amazing. He basically makes videos and for
So
us
it's
to watch.
asynchronous.
It's basically asynchronous, and
Oh, is
so
this the one like
yeah,
the lesson is asynchronous, but if you need help, you can.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So he's really nice, and he was like, "I trust you guys to not to cheat on the midterm. You can take your midterm whenever." And so I had all of my notes out. Um, I had all of my homework out. I had my another tab open just in case I didn't know how to do something, and so that went pretty well.
Okay. Now you're gonna ask me how
What
mine.
about you? Yeah, I was just about to say that.
It's Wednesday, so quarter three started on Monday for me. We only have 20 more weeks left of school and then summer break, and I am so excited. I'm so done with 8th grade. I'm literally just waiting to graduate because I'm not having it anymore. It's just not. It's been a good school year in terms of grades, but in terms of like I've obviously learned stuff, but at the same time, like you know how like you're learning stuff, but you're not like learning stuff. Like
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
like when you're the information's being put into your brain and you're understanding and comprehending the information, but at the same time, there's like this feeling that you get when you're learning in a classroom or in a professional learning environment where it's a lot easier to take in the information, and it's not like I feel like I'm being forced to take in this information, if that makes
Yeah, no,
sense.
I completely understand.
um and so since it's quarter three, we have a completely new schedule, and on Wednesdays we have half days. So I end at 12 instead of 3, which is 3 hours of cut down on screen time. Screen time. Not only that, I have more work. I have more time to do the work that they give. So overall, it's been a pretty good day. So okay, today's topic for this podcast episode is going to be TikTok in general. Now in the future, we're going to go in depth of TikTok. But if you guys, I don't know, because in the first episode that I recorded, like half my audio cut because my phone was just bugging. I don't know what was happening. but it like recorded half the parts. It didn't record half the parts, so I started recording on my MacBook, and that's what I'm gonna continue to record on because it's honestly, it's doing a pretty good job. So, but if I don't know if it got into the podcast episode. If you haven't checked that out, go check it out. But I downloaded TikTok like a week ago. And I know it's a bit shocking because like everyone and their mom has TikTok, but I didn't have TikTok at all in 2020. The first time I downloaded it was in the beginning of January of 2021. And that was after convincing me to download it and my best friends convincing me to download it. And honestly, some of my teachers even have it, and I'm in SVC, if you know what that is. My teachers even talked about it and they kind of enjoy it. So, yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm downloading it. I download it, it's Friday night. I open up the app and I'm, learning how to use the app. I check the time and it's 3 a.m. It's so addicting. It's literally the most addicting app right now. It's very much addicting. And so I instantly deleted it. And then I kept downloading it and then I kept deleting it because it just was really addicting. But I downloaded it officially for a week ago and I've kept it. But honestly, the most I've spent on TikTok a day was maybe 30 minutes. And that's just because, I don't know. I think I kind of like controlled it. Like On talked about this to me. Because when you said that when you started, you were on TikTok for how many hours?
I think when I started TikTok in the beginning of quarantine because I hated TikTok in the middle of senior year. I remember in our creative writing class.
It's honestly just annoying.
It was, I don't know what I hated about it. I think it was the fact that Charlie D'Amelio was so big, getting so big on TikTok just for dancing. And so I really hated the fact that there were people who were getting famous for dancing. Like there are people who work hard, who
put hours and hours and hours and hours in editing their TikToks, and they barely have like 10,000 people following them.
And it's not even about just TikTokers. It's about the fact that there are other people who spend so much time and so much dedication on their
hard work.
Yeah, on their hard work on whatever they're doing, like music or podcasts or YouTube videos, and the fact that this one girl is like going crazy for what?
Do you still
dancing?
Feel that way?
I don't still feel that way. I feel like in the middle I stopped feeling that way. I kind of feel that way right now. And I mean, she is a pretty good dancer. She's a professional dancer. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But so I hated TikTok. Then when quarantine began, I had nothing to do, and so I downloaded TikTok. Actually, no. I downloaded TikTok when I was still in school, just so I can listen to people sing, because I know that I saw a lot of people with really good voices. And so I was like, I'm going to download TikTok so I can see these people sing, these like talented people sing. And so I downloaded TikTok and I was going through it, and then I found Charlie and I followed her, and I found the rest of the Hype House and I started following some of them. And the other ones I just didn't like, truth be told. But I really got addicted when so TikTok you can watch without making a profile. This is at the time you can watch TikTok without making a profile. I was really confused
because when I joined, he was like, "What do you mean? Why are they asking you for your email?"
Yeah.
I was like, "What? That's what they're doing." Also, one thing that I did, and I was really, really, honestly, kind of mad at myself, but really mad at the app for, is when you join and then they ask you what you like or your interests are, I pressed skipped because I didn't really want to do that. And the first thing that, they bring you to your For You page, and the first thing that comes up is a video of police brutality, and then it cuts to a boy. Pretty sure like some emo dude. He looked emo. I'm not saying he's emo. I'm assuming he was emo, and he's talking about bullying compared to police brutality, and he's using the most disgusting words ever. And I was like, what the hell is this? And I was literally in that moment. I was like, I'm getting off this app instantly. And then it told me to scroll down, and I kept scrolling down. And then I found a lot more positive messages that about body positivity and just positivity in general. And I was like, okay, maybe this app isn't as negative as I thought, because I've definitely heard how negative, not even just TikTok, but social media in general can be. Like my Instagram feed. I've made it a very positive Instagram feed. I don't get many negative images or negative posts or anything. I usually get positive stuff, and I really do enjoy that because it honestly, it affects your mood. Like, have you felt that? Like, if you're watching something that's sad or something that just has a negative meaning in general, you feel negative compared to if you're watching something positive. It makes you smile. It makes you, think good
No, I
things.
completely agree. I was just saying that. So when I first joined TikTok, I didn't have an account because back then TikTok didn't would have actually
Sorry, I
let
didn't mean to
you
cut you off.
would have actually let you no, that's okay. Would have actually let you watch TikTok without making an account. And so I found out that my friends also had an account. Two of my friends in my they were in my lunch, they were in most of my classes. And so we always talked about what was happening in TikTok, especially the fact that we all follow Charlie D'Amelio and we all made fun of her, and also just of the trends that TikTok was doing at the time. So they were the one who convinced me to make a profile because I was going through TikTok, hours and hours and hours of TikTok at the time. And
I remember when you told me that your friends are on TikTok for like 17 hours.
yeah, I mean,
I was like, insane. When do you sleep?
Yeah, so I was on TikTok hours a day, like 5 hours a day. And I honestly didn't do it as much. I think it was like 2 hours a day when I first started, but I didn't like anything. I didn't, follow anybody because, if you wanted to do that, you had to make a profile. So then,
really?
Yeah. So if you want to like something, you have to make a profile. And I was like, I don't really want to make a profile right now. So I went like 2 hours a day on TikTok without liking anything, without following anybody. And so then my friends one day, she told me, she convinced me to make a profile. And I was like, okay, but I don't know what my name should be. And you should put my name. So she made my name On the Bully. And so that's my name on TikTok.
And so, I'm on the bully one because I couldn't think of a nickname. So I took his, but I had the one at the end. In case you want to follow us.
So I started watching TikTok. I started following more people. In the beginning, I only followed like hype house. I only followed people who would dance, stuff like that. But now I follow over like 200 people. And even now, like TikTok, I don't really watch TikTok, especially these days since I'm so busy.
Honestly, you know what's more interesting than actual TikTok? TikTok tea.
I really agree. I can't disagree.
It's because they do some of the most stupidest things on the planet. Why? Just like, why in your mental sane person, why would you ever think of doing that?
Exactly. I think it's.
By the way, if you guys want,
that's how like I got into TikTok so much because of the drama. Like slowly, I was so into TikTok because me and my friends would be like, "Did you hear like this happened, or did you hear this person made the video, or whatever?" And so like I didn't know a lot of people on TikTok, but like seeing so many people that were like not as big, but still as positive and as good or hilarious as or more hilarious than some other people.
Honestly, the best type of TikToks are the couple ones. They're really cute and they're funny.
I think there's so many TikToks. I'm on so many TikToks. So if you're
not I don't
TikTok,
really understand. So hold on. I wanna explain it. There's different types of TikTok within the app, and I really don't understand this entire concept. Right. He's explained it to me so many times. I've never understood it.
So I actually never understood it in the beginning too. So there are different TikToks in TikTok, and basically for on your For You page gives you stuff that you like. So my For You page gives me a lot of like people talking instead of like people dancing. It rarely gives me something that is something different, I guess. But most of the time, my For You page is giving me people that I've already followed. So if you haven't been on TikTok, there's two sides you can be on. You can be on For You page where you can see things that you haven't followed or things that you don't normally see, and you can also go on your following page, on which they show you all the people who you are following, and so most of the time I am on my For You page these days. Most of the time that I am on TikTok, I'm usually on the bathroom, in the bathroom, or I'm
Just
watching,
bored.
yeah, Netflix, in the middle of Netflix that I'm watching. I'm watching an old TV show right now instead of watching new ones. I don't know why I'm doing it, but I don't really want to watch any new TV shows right now.
Um,
So yeah, TikTok has barely been like a fill-in for me. Like if I'm bored in class, I'll watch TikTok.
Going back to TikTok tea, one of the first. Honestly, I think you have to give me credit. I got you into the TikTok tea world.
I
You
don't
have
know.
yes, because okay, there's this YouTuber. Her name is Anna Oop. ANNA space OOP. Anna
I
Oop.
think the only reason I think you got me into Anna Oop, you I feel like I was already in the tea before. Just wasn't as much as we know today.
So
We know a lot.
Anna Oop basically she's a
She's one of the
congrats
biggest.
to her. She got 2 million over 2 million subscribers in under 9 months.
Yeah, which is
Which is
amazing.
which is
Incredible.
really incredible for a small YouTuber.
Yeah, she really blew up.
Well, we don't really know if
Yeah.
it's a she because she's never done a
Yeah,
face
actually,
reveal.
yeah. They really blew
But yeah,
up.
they really did, and not even like she's probably the biggest TikTok tea page
Yeah,
on
no, she
YouTube,
is. She's definitely the biggest tea
other than
page.
TikTok Room on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, but that's on Instagram. TikTok Room is
Honestly, stupid.
extremely stupid.
They're like TMZ.
Yeah, basically, like nobody reads them, but it's like they're
No,
irrelevant, but
and
like
half the time it's all fake,
it's all
or
fake.
all
Yeah.
it's all lies. It's like Josh Richards'
Mm-hmm.
podcast.
Exactly.
Honestly, I don't know why. Okay, getting into TikTok in the podcast world, there's H3H3 podcast on YouTube. There's BFFs with Josh Richards,
Which is the worst
which
podcast
is
ever made in history.
honestly like why? No one asked you to speak on people's business. No one asked you
Didn't
to
he just
speak.
recently add to the TikTok or add to the podcast? Like he just joined the podcast.
No, he. See, the thing was
His
he couldn't.
friend, his
He
friend made the podcast, and
No,
he
he
just
he couldn't basically create his own podcast. One, because he didn't know how to, and two, he didn't want to do the technical stuff himself. And so instead of paying someone to do all that stuff, he just said, "Why don't you become my co-host to this person who obviously is? I think he might be an audio engineer or something. I don't know, but he's actually really good with audio and stuff
he
like
might
that."
be dead in a few days because he old as hell.
Really? I don't know.
He's like
I've
40
just
years old,
heard.
right?
I don't know. I mean, Jason Nash is also 40 years old.
Yeah, but like Jason Nash knows how to keep it cool.
David Dobrik just got his a podcast studio, which is actually a really sick studio. Like
David
it's a
Dobrik is
really
doing big things,
clean
honestly.
looking studio. Anyway, so it's like why? Just why do you have to put someone on the spot like that? Like they're going through this Twitter fight. They're going through, that. Why do you have to speak on it? Why do you want to involve yourself in something that no one asked you or nobody
You
wants
know,
you to be involved
you know
in?
what this reminds me of? Um, Josh Richards' podcast reminds me of FaZe Banks.
Who is that?
So FaZe Banks is a
Let me just look him up
YouTuber.
real quick.
I think that's his
FaZe
name, FaZe Banks.
Banks. Who is this? FaZe Clan.
Not FaZe Clan.
Banks. Oh, this
The
kid.
YouTuber with the news.
Ew.
Show me.
Didn't you date Alyssa Violet?
Yeah. So FaZe
Yeah.
Banks. FaZe Banks was a YouTube tea
Also known as
YouTuber.
Ricky Banks or Simply Banks.
I've never heard of that. That sounds disgusting.
He's 29.
So basically, this reminds me of him because, first of all, when everything with Jake Paul and Logan Paul went down, and
This was
he
years
started
ago.
dating Jake Paul's ex-girlfriend, whatever, all that stuff. He was the one who was giving all the tea, or
The tea
basically,
spiller.
yeah, basically he was giving
Inside
all the
scoop.
news or whatever, and he was like he was part of the tea he was talking about, and it was so stupid because he was literally talking about himself, and he was making all of these comments and stuff, but it was like, you're part of this drama, why are you talking about it? So he would literally talk shit about Jake Paul. It wasn't like he wasn't giving drama, he was just talking shit about Jake Paul. And so and he would also talk about different stuff, which was like really, really stupid. He would he wasn't just talking about the drama, he was giving way too big of his opinions. He has way too big opinions. And so he was giving all those opinions, and like, I think this guy is really, really stupid.
See, the thing is, it's a difference between getting involved and,
Right.
bringing your opinions.
He would always get
That's the
involved in
best
all the
thing.
drama.
That's the best thing that I love about the person that Josh Richards does the podcast with. He always states his opinions. Josh Richards just wants to get into the drama.
Yeah, no, definitely. I haven't really listened to his podcast.
I've just seen clips from Anna Oop.
Yeah. So seeing clips from Anna Oop, it just showed that he wants to, like, for some reason he wants to fight people. He just wants to fight someone.
It's like when you're not really relevant anymore, and you want
Yeah,
to
exactly.
get relevant again. So
Like
you
Trisha
try to
Paytas.
exactly,
I loved watching Trisha Paytas.
And so you try to create drama for no reason.
Like, everyone has their time on YouTube. Everyone has their time on, Tyler Oakley was huge at one time. There was somebody
This
that
is
was
like you're
huge.
talking about like a decade ago.
But then their time goes on, and there are people who still like watching them. Like Lily Singh is not too big, but she's still big. Ryan Higa is not too big, but he's still big. But like Trisha Paytas was at one time an amazing YouTuber.
She's honestly like a mukbanger or a mukbanger. I don't really know what it is.
She did everything. She did music videos, mukbang. She did like vlogs, and she was honestly a really good YouTuber. She was really nice and everything. I feel like
didn't she date Jason Nash?
I think she did. I don't think she did.
I think she did. I'm pretty sure she did.
I don't know about that. I think they like flirted with each other, but they never dated.
I don't really know.
And so now she's like really, really problematic, and it's kind of annoying because she's attacking like Charlie and Dixie and everyone.
You're a 50-year-old who's attacking
exactly.
She's
minor. Like 30, 35.
She's not 30.
Like
she's
like 30.
Definitely 50.
She's 30. She's like Shane Dawson's age.
Trisha Paytas.
That's why Shane and Trisha were really good friends when I first started watching.
She's 32.
Yeah, the only reason I actually watched Trisha Paytas was because of Shane Dawson. The only reason I watched
Shane Dawson
James
admits
Charles,
his career is over? Wow.
The only reason I started watching James Charles was because of Shane Dawson. And Jeffree Star because of Shane Dawson. All these people I started watching was because of Shane Dawson.
Interesting.
But yeah. What do you think about the TikTok? First of all, Anna Oop is like a really good channel. We watch her every single day whenever her videos come out.
I stopped watching her because I realized how much time I was wasting on seeing people that are considered... Okay, I don't understand... I'm going to get into this in a different podcast episode. I definitely will cover this. But they consider themselves influencers. All these people that are blowing up on TikTok, Noah Beck, Dixie D'Amelio, Charli D'Amelio. But the thing is, the definition of an influencer is someone who people look up to or people admire because of what they do.
Right.
And they have the power and the knowledge to help someone out or influence someone when it comes to life decisions, when it comes to buying things, when it comes to just anything in general, when it like in their field, like someone, who is a technology YouTuber and you ask them for dating advice, it's not usually or you ask them what makeup brush should I use on my eyelid, they're not going to know. I mean, they could know. They could. It's a hobby, but you rather go to a makeup guru such as Jaclyn Hill or James Charles or someone, and get that advice that way. But a lot of people consider other people influencers because of the number that they have under followers.
No,
If
definitely.
it's around, if it's over 100K, they're considered an influencer.
I feel
whether they're the worst person to ask advice for, and they're probably gonna tell someone, "Oh yeah, if I'm depressed, I don't know what to help you. Why are you asking me this?" That's probably, and also these people are kids. They're literally children. I am a baby. I still consider myself a baby because I'm only 14. These people are 16, 19. Literally, a 19-year-old is kissing a 13-year-old. Like, how, you consider her an influencer just because she has 19 mil on TikTok?
Exactly.
I don't know how many she has on TikTok, but this is what you're going to teach people? This is what you're following?
I mean, exactly.
Like,
I think that some people these days have just equalized having more followers to being a good person.
It's also a part of growing up. You grow up, and you learn from your mistakes and you learn from your what's it called, experiences.
Right.
But we're learning. And I talked to Fizabaji about this. Who check out last week's episode. But she said you guys are growing up in front of a screen. When I was a child, when I was 10, 12, I would look up to our older cousins. I would look up to Kinzabaji, which is my older sister. I would look up to them, or I'd look up to my mom. I wouldn't look. A lot of these kids nowadays are looking up to Charli D'Amelio. I want the same body as her. I want to dance like her. I want to look like her.
Yeah, no, I think that it's just that toxic mindset that people
mentality.
have. Yeah, because TikTok, not only TikTok, just everything. It's just the more followers you have, the more famous you are, the better person you must be, and
the more you're considered a bigger influencer.
This was something that I was thinking about the other day. These influencers, they think they have the power to do anything, and so they end up doing something bad instead of doing something good. I think there are people on TikTok and there are people on.
It's called influencer privilege.
Yeah, exactly. I think that there are people on TikTok and there are people on Instagram who do good things because they have that big following. They can do good things because they have big following. But there are some people who don't choose to teach people, good things. They teach people, these TikTokers who are going to the Bahamas in the middle of a pandemic. It's just
or
sad.
You're walking around without a mask.
Right. It's like this is what you want to teach the 10-year-olds that watch you. They don't really realize that the only people that are watching them are 10-year-olds, 10 to 14-year-olds.
I think they do realize that. They just don't care.
Exactly.
They don't care enough, or they don't care at all. Another thing was you're a child. You're growing up in front of a screen with all these people. Charli D'Amelio literally has 100 million people over that probably now. 100 million people following her, watching her every single minute of the day, and if she makes a mistake, 10 years later, she's going to be like, guys, I was a child. I grow up. That is my growing stage. But people won't forgive you. The society, your followers won't forgive you. They're going to, like the thing with Kevin Hart that happened, where he was supposed to host the Grammys or some award, and someone went back and found a tweet that he said that was from 7 or 8 years ago, and it was something about, I don't really know. It was, I think, homosexual or whatever. and they didn't let him. They said you either say sorry or you don't host the Grammys.
Homophobic.
Homophobic. That's what I meant. Homophobic. You either say sorry or you don't host the Grammys. And he said I was still learning how to use tweets.
Right, yeah, I think the same thing happened with
How are you going to make me
Lorraine.
say apologize for something I did 7 years ago? I learned from my mistakes.
Right.
Everyone does that.
I feel like there's a lot of the parts that influencers use as a thing was like, this was 8 years ago, why didn't you call me out then? And I kind of agree at the fact that it was like 8 years ago, why are you calling them out right now? Like, it's kind of like a good point, the fact that saying that, it's been 8 years, why didn't you call me out then? But it's also, back then people don't really notice. I feel like right now it's just an era of people pulling up
Honestly,
old
people
tweets.
just like followers or people that just don't like a certain person. Like if I said I didn't like Charlie D'Amelio, nothing against her. She's absolutely beautiful, but like if this is just an example, by the way, if I had something against Charlie D'Amelio and I went back and found something that she said, I can't say 10 years ago, she was 6, but that 8 years ago, or 10 or like 6 years ago, and I say this, people just want to cancel people because they have nothing to do. They're just bored.
Also, I feel like there are so many
They
times
want clout.
yeah, so many times that Anna Oop has talked about where people on TikTok, their own fans, would expose somebody who they're dating or somebody who they're becoming friends with just so they don't date them or become friends with them, which is kind of like, it's weird. And it's just...
I'm sorry, what did you say? I'm so sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
So I said that Anna Oop has, so many times she has covered where there are TikToks whose fans would expose their friends just so they don't stay friends with them, or their girlfriends or boyfriends just so they don't date them. And
Famous
I feel
people?
like, yeah, like famous TikTokers. Like, I feel like, I forgot the name, but this one TikToker started dating and his fans just like exposed his girlfriend. And so, he felt so bad because there are people calling out this poor girl who has done nothing wrong, and they're like, 8 years ago she did this, 8 years ago, 5 years ago she did this.
Again, why are
4
you
years ago
bringing
she
up
did
something
this.
from the past?
I think that,
Seriously. People need to
but
chill.
also people need to take accountability. These people that are becoming influencers, that are being called out, haven't been influencers for like a year. They've been influencers for years and years and years. And so why are you why can't you apologize something you did 4 years ago and you didn't do it and know anything right? Why can't you just be like, I'm so sorry, I didn't know anything?
Even after, some people do apologize, and honestly, I don't think you should be apologizing because you did this years ago.
But what if you don't learn from it, right?
I understand what you're saying, but I honestly don't agree with you completely. But even if you're saying sorry, people will find more tweets and more videos, and no matter how many times you say sorry, they will never forgive you.
I think that those are just people who are just not happy with their life.
They have nothing to do.
Yeah, but it's not even about that. It's just like, if it's a big deal, if it's something about like hating someone, then I would say you need to apologize. But like, if it's about something that's not that big of a deal, that not many people are bringing up, I think you don't really need to. It's not that big of a deal, honestly, because I mean, you should apologize and say that you'll do better, but even after, if someone's hating on you, then that's not fair to you. And this is to all influencers. If you've done everything you can, then it's not your responsibility for what other people think.
But at the same time, there's, you grow up, excuse me, a lot of these influencers are children. There's literally influencers that are 7, 9, 8 years old. That Ryan kid who makes the most on YouTube right now, he's considered an influencer. He's doing nothing wrong. He's opening toys and showing them to kids who watch them, right? Completely fine. He's gonna grow up in 2 years from now and probably change his content, maybe not. 10 years from now, definitely he's not going to be an 18-year-old unboxing toys. Exactly. I mean, he could, but like,
imagine an 18-year-old.
I mean, it's possible. It's possible.
It's not a bad thing.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I mean, if you're unboxing like really cool replica pieces or really cool background pieces, 100% I would watch that. But if he's 18 now, you know, he's growing up. If he said something that was like a bit mean when he was 8, you're gonna come after something that he said when he was 8? Like, you can't do that. It's also your children. You're still growing up, and you're saying what you've been taught since you were born by your parents and by your parents' views.
I will agree with that as long as you're 18 years old. After 18 years old, it is your responsibility to
But
learn.
You're still growing on.
I know, Jess, you're still growing, but it is your responsibility to learn. If you're that big of an influencer and you're making that much money, you should be able to learn about what to say and what not to say. Because you're an adult now, and saying stuff that is homophobic or racist or sexist, it's just not okay.
I partially agree with that, but at the same time, you have to see, you are telling someone that one day you're completely fine, and it's not that it's okay to say stuff like this, but like it's not going to be as big of a deal, and then the next day it's like a huge deal if you say something like that. You know, you still have to adapt out of that mentality and out of your parents' mentality, because that's what you've been fed since you were born. But like, I would say if you're above the age of like 20, 100% you should be taking accountability of what you're saying and making sure that what you're saying is appropriate in all types of way. But if you're talking to someone who just turned 18, you can't really, you know, say that. Or someone if you're turning 19 even, like, you have a whole year to do that. Okay, I agree with that. But like, someone who just turned 18, I don't really think that they should be taking as much accountability as you're saying. So I partially agree with you.
No, I agree with you. It's just that I feel like it also depends on how the person reacts. Like, I know that Jojo Siva has been attacked for saying some things that weren't really that big of a deal. It's not that about being a big of a deal. I think that they were she said something that wasn't bad, and people were like, "Oh, how dare you say that?"
Remember when she came at the board game? It's kind of inappropriate for children.
But even about that, she didn't lash out when she heard about it. She didn't like, "Oh my God, you guys are acting way too much."
But you also have to have that mentality of not caring.
Also, Jojo Siva is just like that type of person who...
Because she's been in the public eye since she was 3.
I think, I feel like that's also true. She knows how to handle a scandal.
Bro, you can't even say that, because she was literally with Abby freaking Lee Miller, whatever her name is. The one person who's 50 and is still attacking people.
I feel like she was with her.
What are you doing with your lives?
With her,
seriously.
When she was in Dance Moms, right?
Yeah, Dance Moms and Abby's Ultimate Competition, which was her first show that she did.
Right, so I think that now that Jojo Siva's on her own, she doesn't hang out with Abby at all. I don't know about that, but like...
Well, she went to Abby because she got cancer, so she went there to, you know... Yeah, Abby has cancer. You didn't know that?
Oh, Abby. I thought you said Jojo Siva.
No.
I was about to be like, what?
I think 2 years ago or something, she was getting canceled for something she said. So it's like, people cancel... She didn't even say anything bad. So Jojo Siwa a couple of years ago on Facebook, some mom wrote how she wanted her children to grow up and be her and not care about what people say about what you're wearing, and not some other. But at that time she was 15, and not someone else. I forgot what her name was.
Yeah, no, some other girl who was like really.
And then the girl responded with, something very inappropriate.
Yeah.
And JoJo Siwa just said her point, which was, you can be you, I can be me.
Right.
I'm a big fan of you. Do I want to be you? No. Neither do you want to be me. And people, all her fans were like hating on her, calling her a giant toddler. Her hairline was receding. And
I think that JoJo Siwa
she
really
talks
knows how
too
to handle.
fast.
Yeah, JoJo Siwa was like, honestly, JoJo Siwa was one of the best like influencers ever. Especially
like, she's very, very mature for her age. Not only that, she knows, because her audience is anywhere from 2 to 13. Her main audience is 2 to 13. And she even though she gets in a situation that might be, with words that are inappropriate, she's not going to use that same language, or she's not going to use that same way and respond to it. She's not going to respond to it at all because she doesn't care.
Right, she makes sure she's like appropriate for her audience.
Not only that, she's like, cause her, what the bows resemble?
Yeah, I forget.
It's called a Siwanator, and it means like her. It was actually really interesting and very positive.
I think it was about
marketing idea. It's like if you see someone in lunch, she did an example for school, that is wearing a JoJo Siwa bow and they're sitting alone, you know that you can go and sit with them and talk with them because they're a Siwanator. That means they're anti-bullying. They're very friendly.
That's
and
really
stuff
cool.
like that. And so,
do you see someone in lunch wearing a Siwa bow?
I'm in 8th grade. No one wears bows.
You never know.
Also, we're online. No one opens their camera other than a teacher. So, because we're all insecure.
Yikes.
Anyway, getting away from this to TikTok houses. By the way, something just happened. Not a content house, which had Anna, whatever her last name is, Eva Cudmore, I think, Maddie Monroe, which is who's best friend?
We just turned into a tea house.
Honestly, I'm down. But it takes a lot of research, and you have to keep up. You have to keep up on like all websites.
All of that, and it's too much work.
It's way too much work, and it's honestly exhausting. A lot of effort.
It's so exhausting, emotionally, mentally, everything, just exhausting. To keep up with these stupid people.
Also, the way that you have to edit your videos.
Oh yeah.
Like the editing probably takes 6 hours.
The way Anna Oop edits her videos every single day, amazing. I don't know how she does it.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, I just want to say that. Yeah, kudos to Anna Oop. But yeah,
not a content house is not a thing anymore.
Daniel Cohen was in the Not a Content House.
She created her own thing with all these underage and not
wasn't
underage,
it like
minor
Bay House or something like that?
Something like that, but not a content house.
So stupid. She's a minor herself. She's like, I'm 18. You're 12. You're like 14.
They got evicted because they're underage. They're minors. Anyway, not a content house is not a thing anymore because. Whose best friend is
They really got addicted.
Evicted. Not addicted, evicted.
Evicted. I'm sorry about that. Evicted. The fact that they really got evicted.
I'm looking at my MacBook screen because I want to make sure that I'm not ruining you guys' ears where it's hitting the top. And I look across the table and he's just dying. So but not a content house is not a thing anymore. So Maddie Monroe's whose best friend?
Charlie's.
Charlie Miller's best friend. And there's what's her name? Something Kettling? I forgot her name. But a lot of these people were actually in Attaway General, if you know what that is. It's Brat TV's very cringy show. It's basically a hospital that's been run by TikTokers. Anyway, all these people, is Cynthia Parker, everyone, they're not in a house anymore, because this was the third and final time that they got evicted. So they just came out with a podcast episode, and I listened to the first 5 minutes of it before recording this. But basically, Lauren Kettering, that's what her name is. Lauren Kettering, Maddie Monroe, some other girl, and another girl are the OG Not a Content House creators. and they
Isn't Maddie
had
Monroe like 19?
no, she's the same age as Charlie. And
Oh.
because the thing was, the house was not in their name. Daniel Cohn is so stupid. You're literally a 14-year-old who's acting like a 16 or 17-year-old, however old you want to act, or say you are. And then you try to get a mansion in your name, a minor.
Yeah, I don't
You
think you
think
can do
they're
that.
really gonna do that? So I think they only had it for 2 weeks, and then they got evicted
Oh, wow.
because like you can't. That's not okay. But with Matt, because Maddie's dad or someone is a professional, like a retired baseball player, I'm pretty sure. So the name was in the house's name was in Maddie's dad's thing, because they're all technically
Right.
other than Anna's shoemate, I'm pretty sure. She's 18, but I just want to talk about. Sorry about that. But basically, it was in Maddie's dad's name, so not a minor.
Right.
These people, the main reason that they're not a thing anymore was management. They're all their managers. I don't think they're signed with a company or like an agent company. What I don't really know, but they specifically said that this is a content house. We're gonna be filming. We're gonna see cameras. You're gonna see phones. You're gonna see
Right.
videos on here. A week later, excuse me. A week later, the people who own the landlord, um, evicts them. They're like, you can't film in here. And they're like, we literally told you what this house was for. They go to the second house. The second house, they said, obviously they didn't put it in his dad's name, but they were all underage. They're all, other than one of them, I'm pretty sure one of them is 20. So they're all these 16, 17-year-olds with a 20-year-old. And they're basically living in this house, right? They live, I think, for a month, like 3 weeks, and the landlord comes in with his people. They take all their decor, all their furniture, all their clothes, all their shoes, everything, and they put them in garbage bags and they throw them out. So they're literally a bunch of garbage bags with furniture on the street right in front of their house. And the reason was because management didn't tell them that, underage minors are going to be living here. So they're like, no, we don't want to deal with, is it Homeland Security or whatever? Is that
I'm
it?
not sure.
But basically, federal laws and stuff like that. I don't think it's a federal law. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but laws in just general. And so they got their third house, cleared everything up. Then, no, I don't know. They actually went, before they got their third house, they went to Top Talent House where they got Eva, Anna Shoemate, and Sabrina something. I forgot her last name. And they're like, well, all girls house, I'm down. They didn't have, so they got their third house and they didn't have enough space, so they got another house, which was Notch 2, which is not a content house, Notch 2. And so half the girls were living, well, the OGs were living in Notch 1 and the new additions were living in Notch 2. And the same thing happened. Something with management, and it's just, boom, gone. But that was just not a content house. Anyway, for what do you think about the Hype House, the Sway House, and the Clubhouse?
Honestly, at first, I thought that there was really something really stupid about it. The fact that there were actual houses for people to live in.
Well,
I guess it's a good thing for people who are coming out of like other states or other cities. For people who don't, for people who want to get like,
because there's a bunch of people that are from Canada.
right, and so for people who, just to
Or just other states from
Right,
other
yeah,
than
and they don't want to
California.
buy a house because it's expensive, and so I think it's a good thing. But for people who are, I feel like these houses make up so much drama that it's insane. They really just do a lot of stuff.
I
They
think
do
the
a lot. They
biggest
just do a lot.
I think the biggest
They do too much.
mistake was they had minors and then people over the age of 18
Yeah,
together in a house, which is already they're breaking the law.
and there were so many people. Like I get, it's a huge mansion, and so I was like, there were gonna be like 10 people in the hype house
There's over
maximum.
30.
There's over 30. It's insane.
It's not even
And
the hype house anymore. It's just the house.
the house because they lost the hype and they lost Charlie.
They lost Charlie. They lost
Dixie,
Addison.
Addie. They lost. Who else did they lose? Avani. They lost so much.
Honestly, what's his face? Ask Anything? No, Love Anthony. I don't know what happened with him, but how old is Avani?
Avani is 19, I
Okay.
believe.
And never mind. Okay. Anyway, so Anthony was considered living alone, and then they figured out that he was crashing at Sway House because he didn't have money.
And then he actually joined the Sway House.
No. And
But then he left. He joined the Sway House and then he left
That's
the
not what
Sway
happened.
House.
Then when people found out he's crashing at the Sway House because he doesn't have money, obviously he's still creating TikToks, got a following, got the what's it called, Creator Fund, and then joined the Hype House. He was there for 2 days, joined the Sway House. He's been there for months, and now he left.
Yeah, I think everyone left the Sway House.
No, there's still
there's Bryce Hall and someone else. I forgot.
There's Bryce Hall. In the original Sway House, there's Bryce Hall, the Blake dude,
Blake
Noah
Ray.
Beck.
Noah Beck.
Noah Beck Thick.
Noah Thick Neck.
Beck. And then someone else, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, but Griffin Johnson.
Oh yeah, Griffin
Keo
Johnson.
Sear. I don't really know. What is
Keo
that?
Sear.
And then Jaden Hostler moved out because Bryce Hall and Jaden Hostler can't be living together because they got arrested. So.
Which was so stupid. I mean,
but
I think they got arrested
what really
in
happened?
Texas.
Yeah. You know who was actually doing drugs?
Bryce Hall.
No, it was Jaden Hostler.
Oh.
And Josh Richards. But because Josh Richards is from Canada, and he's not considered a U.S. citizen, he was going to get deported.
Oh wow!
So Bryce Hall was like, "I'll take the fall," and so he got arrested. But yeah, I don't think it's
again.
safe.
It's the same with these influencers to having the influencer privilege.
I don't think it's safe.
They don't care about what they do. They don't care about their actions or how they affect people and how they show these little kids who are watching them. They just care about having fun.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, obviously have fun, but if you're in the public eye, you should
be careful with what you do. Like
Literally,
JoJo Siwa always has fun, but she's always
be careful of what she's posting.
with what she's posting, what she's doing. James Charles too. James Charles never drinks because he doesn't want to do. He drank once because of a YouTube video, but he never drinks, and he says he never drinks because
he doesn't like the idea of it.
He doesn't like the fact that he might do something he doesn't know about.
When he's not in your senses.
Right. So
anyway.
He doesn't want to destroy his reputation because he cares about it that much. I just think that these people don't care about their reputation enough to.
I don't think he supports it either.
He doesn't support it either. He literally, even in the makeup video that he did where he got drunk, he literally told his viewers that please drink at your own pace, drink at your own discretion.
Which is good.
Which is really good.
But the thing with houses, they're not safe. Literally, the Sway House was about to lose their water and electricity because they kept throwing parties in a lockdown when we're having a pandemic, a world crisis.
Definitely. It's stupid. overall, just like try to, you know, be a good influencer if you are an influencer,
If you're considered one.
if you're considered an influencer. But like, yeah, that's just like a message to all influencers that just try to be good and send a good message instead of telling, you know, saying that you don't care, showing that you don't care. Try to show that you actually do care, or that, you know, there is good in the world.
It's not
Now
safe
that,
either because
yeah,
like they're bringing underage people over.
right, exactly. It's just,
It's
insane. It's
disgusting
disgusting.
and
It's not
it's
okay.
irresponsible.
Yeah, so be better.
Seriously. But it is getting late. Thank you all so much for listening or watching if you did today's podcast or this week's podcast episode. I am thinking of uploading 2 podcast episodes per week just because I am getting a lot more time to record these podcast episodes. And so if you guys do enjoy these podcast episodes and you guys do want more, make sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button so you guys get notified. Oh, I'm sorry. That also lets me know that you guys want more podcast episodes and just content that I make in general. Hit that like button. That lets me know that you guys want more podcast episodes. Comment down below what topics you want me to talk about, or me and or me and Physiology. All 3 of us will talk about it.
Make sure to hit that bell icon
So you guys
that
get
you
notified
don't. Yep.
when I upload normally or when I upload a podcast episode. And yeah, on 3 we're gonna say peace. Alrighty, and we'll see y'all next time. Or we'll see y'all next time. 1, 2, 3, peace.